You know those moments when life just hits different? Maybe your boss tells you, look, you're not ready for that big promotion, or a personal setback just completely blindsides you. In those moments, do you find yourself wanting to just throw in the towel? Or is it maybe a way to dig deep and, discover something new within yourself? Today, we're doing a deep dive into something absolutely vital for navigating those choppy waters. Building resilience and mental toughness. Our mission here is to extract some really actionable insights, maybe some surprising facts that will help you not just survive, but truly thrive when adversity inevitably strikes. Because it does strike, right? We're pulling from a really rich stack of sources for this deep dive. We've got 10 ways to overcome adversity and thrive during hard times from Better Up, 7 accessible ways to build resilience in the storm from A Life in Progress, also how adversity makes you stronger from Forbes, and how to manage stress with mindfulness and meditation. We'll also draw insights from how to build mental toughness from Calm Blog, plus some wisdom from Seasoned Strength by 27 Jen, and Ryan James's book Stoicism, which explores these ancient philosophies for modern life. So yeah, let's unpack this. We all know adversity hits hard, those moments when life just throws you a curveball. But what's truly insightful, I think, as the Better Up source points out, is categorizing these challenges. Things like self-doubt, physical injuries or illnesses, rejection, poverty, losing a loved one, or, struggling in your career. It kind of helps us see the patterns, doesn't it?
Yeah, and what's fascinating here is that while adversity is presented as one of life's staples, I mean, it's genuinely impossible to avoid. No matter what path you've chosen, it's also profoundly framed as a learning opportunity. It's not just about getting through it. It's a chance to fundamentally grow as a person. Those hard times, as difficult as they feel, they often prove to be these invaluable catalysts for personal development.
Right. So if adversity is the inevitable challenge, then resilience. That's our adaptive response to it. It's the ability to effectively cope and, adapt well when faced with stress, trauma, tragedy, threats, or, significant challenges.
That's right. And the sources highlight that resilience means bouncing back, sure, but it's really more than just recovering to your baseline. It can actually lead to positive growth beyond your pre-trauma functioning. We'll probably touch on that later, post-traumatic growth. And it's crucial to understand that resilience isn't some fixed trait you either have or you don't. It actually involves behaviors, thoughts, actions, things that can be learned and developed by anyone. And the benefits are pretty significant. Higher resilience is connected to lower levels of anxiety, psychological distress. It can even lessen the severity of depression symptoms, even after things like childhood trauma or severe health conditions.
Okay, so on the flip side then, what happens when that resilience muscle isn't fully developed? We're talking symptoms like anxiety, increased stress, fear, but also things like sleep deprivation, maybe difficulty making decisions.
Stomach upset, depression, significant mood changes like irritability,
Right.
social isolation, maybe even increased substance use. Plus, your immune response can actually decrease.
Leading to more colds or illnesses.
Yeah. It's interesting how many of those common signs of low resilience, like, the sleep deprivation or being more irritable, are things we often just dismiss, right? Oh, just a bad day. Instead of seeing them as maybe potential indicators of a deeper struggle with adversity. And if stress isn't managed, especially that chronic, ongoing stress, it can lead to serious physical and mental health problems.
Oh, absolutely.
Your body can undergo actual chemical changes that raise blood pressure, heart rate, blood sugar. It can even lead to inflammation. This isn't just feeling stressed, it's a profound impact on your overall health.
Indeed. And it's here that we can look to, ancient wisdom, specifically Stoicism, for some foundational tools to manage this internal landscape. Stoicism, it's an ancient Greek philosophy, founded in Athens by Zeno of Citium way back, early 3rd century BC. Its core teaching really involves developing self-control and fortitude to overcome those destructive emotions.
So we're talking really ancient roots here. Who were some of the key figures? Who shaped this philosophy? Well, you have Zeno, obviously, the founder. He laid the basic framework, really emphasizing living in accordance with nature, and crucially, recognizing what you can and cannot control. Then there's Seneca, a Roman philosopher. He provided a lot of practical guidance through his writings on applying Stoicism daily, focusing on self-reflection, personal improvement. Epictetus is another key figure. Originally a slave, he became this prominent teacher. He's known for his very straightforward approach, particularly in the Enchiridion, which really hammers home that distinction between what's in our control and what's not.
Okay.
And finally, you have Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor. He kind of embodies the Stoic ideal of a philosopher king. His personal journal, meditations, basically his reflection on Stoic beliefs, duty, rationality, life's transient nature.
Wow. So it's a philosophy built on centuries of thought and real practical application. What were the core principles then? The virtues they aimed to cultivate, and how do they connect to resilience?
Well, the Stoics cultivated virtues like wisdom, that's about navigating life's complexities with a clear, rational mind. Then courage, and this isn't just physical bravery, but moral bravery. Faced with fears, facing challenges. Justice, which is about fairness, ethical treatment of others. And temperance, self-restraint, moderation in all aspects of life. These are all underpinned by virtue itself as the ultimate good, which they believed is entirely within your control. And these virtues, they aren't just abstract ideas, they're like active muscles for mental fortitude, designed to help you maintain composure and purpose, no matter what external events are unfolding.
Right, mental muscles, I like that.
Yeah, and if we connect this to the bigger picture, cultivating these virtues leads to what they called eudaimonia. It's a state of flourishing fulfillment, achieved by aligning your desires and actions with, well, nature's inherent order. And this ancient philosophy, it remains incredibly relevant today. It offers this timeless wisdom for leading a disciplined, thoughtful, purposeful life.
It sounds incredibly powerful. And one of the most central tenets of Stoicism, the one that directly ties into resilience and which I find particularly insightful, is the dichotomy of control. Can you unpack that a bit?
Absolutely. This principle, it encourages you to focus your energy and attention only on what you can control. So your thoughts, your beliefs, your actions, that's your domain. And then you deliberately relinquish concern over everything else, external events, other people's opinions, natural disasters, even to some extent, your own body.
So essentially, it's about drawing a really clear line in the sand. Like, this is my business, my thoughts, my actions, and that over there is not my business, the traffic, what someone else thinks. That simplicity is quite powerful, isn't it? It's described as a critical realization for cultivating inner peace and emotional resilience.
Exactly. Think about a traffic jam, for instance. It's a common frustration,
Right.
and it's completely outside your direct influence. A Stoic wouldn't just, succumb to anger or stress. Instead, they accept the situation as it is. They focus on what they can do.
Mhm.
Maybe use a time to listen to an audiobook or practice some deep breathing exercises we might talk about later. This isn't about resignation. It's not giving up. It's actually a liberating way to channel your energy toward something productive rather than just wasted frustration. You're reclaiming immense mental energy that was previously wasted on these futile worries. And that expands your internal capacity for, well, real problem solving and peace.
Yeah, I can really visualize that traffic jam scenario. It highlights how much emotional energy we often just pour down the drain on things truly outside our sphere of influence.
Precisely. And the Stoics believed that it's our judgments about events, not the events themselves, that truly disturb us. So by changing your perspective, by detaching from desires for specific outcomes like wanting the traffic to disappear, you effectively shield yourself from unnecessary emotional turmoil.
Okay, so how do they suggest we actually internalize this? I mean, beyond just acknowledging it intellectually, are there specific techniques?
Yeah, there are. One key technique is just rational analysis, consistently asking yourself, is this troubling situation truly within my control? If it's not, you practice acceptance and redirect your efforts to what you can influence. Another really powerful tool is called negative visualization or premeditatio malorum.
Right.
This involves mentally simulating potential hardships, things like loss, financial setbacks, personal failures, thinking them through beforehand.
You know, it's funny. When I first heard about premeditatio malorum, my first thought was, why on earth would I want to make myself miserable thinking about bad things?
Yeah, common reaction.
But the way you explain it, like a kind of mental fire drill, that puts a completely different perspective on it. It makes perfect sense. It's about preparation, not just dread.
Exactly right. The purpose isn't to dwell on negativity or get anxious. It's to build a mental readiness. It reduces the shock and impact if these situations arise, helping you realize, okay, I've thought about this, I can endure this, maybe even emerge stronger.
The benefits of consistently applying this principle, they sound truly transformative.
They really are. It leads to reduced stress and anxiety,
Huh?
definitely improved decision-making because you're clearer headed, and just greater emotional resilience overall. It allows you to truly become, a master of your internal world, regardless of the external chaos swirling around you.
Okay, so we've just explored these incredibly powerful ancient tools for managing our internal world. Let's pivot a bit. What about the more contemporary scientific approaches? How do practices like mindfulness, for instance, echo some of these timeless principles, but in a modern context? How does that present moment awareness tie into coping effectively?
Well, present moment awareness, which is really the key feature of mindfulness, is scientifically linked to increased stress resilience and more effective coping. Studies show that having a disposition toward, staying in the present moment correlates with lower perceived stress, less anxiety, less depression, along with improved mood and just a greater sense of well-being. So mindfulness isn't just about feeling calm in the moment. It's actively reshaping our neural pathways to become more resilient to stress over time. That's a powerful mechanism.
That's fascinating. What's the core mechanism then? How does mindfulness actually reduce stress? What's happening inside?
There are several ways it works. First, you become more aware of your thoughts. This allows you to kind of step back from them, not take them so literally, which can prevent that whole stress response from even kicking off. Second, you don't immediately react to situations. Mindfulness gives you that crucial pause. It lets you use your wise mind, as some traditions call it, to find the best solution, rather than just reacting emotionally. It also helps switch on your being mode of mind, which is associated with relaxation, as opposed to the doing mode, which is often linked to the stress response.
Ah, the human being versus human doing.
Exactly. Mindfulness also improves your emotional intelligence. It reduces activity in the amygdala, that's the part of your brain central to the stress response, and it even allows you to reframe stress itself. You can learn to see it as an energizing force sometimes, rather than purely negative.
Okay, so what are some practical mindfulness exercises, things people can actually do to make a difference?
Breathing exercises are incredibly powerful. Your breath is a direct line to regulating emotions and activating the parasympathetic nervous system that's your body's calming response. A simple technique is just to breathe in for a count of, say, 4, and then exhale for twice as long, maybe 6 or 8 counts. That longer exhale really helps activate that calming system.
Simple but effective.
Very. There's also something called intentional breathing. It's a 7-step practice. You start by just observing your natural breath, then place your hands on your chest and belly to feel the breath, breathe into different parts of your lungs, then do some half breaths, full breaths, and finally, just notice how you feel afterwards.
And you mentioned the stress breath earlier, too. That sounded intriguing.
Yes, the stress breath is quite specific. It involves a audible exhale, almost like you're fogging a mirror, making a ah sound. Then you close your mouth and continue pushing the air out through your nose. It includes holding your breath briefly and bringing your chin towards your chest for about 5 seconds before exhaling fully. The audible vibrations from this, they signal the vagus nerve, which is key in shifting your nervous system from the sympathetic, the stress response, to the parasympathetic, the restorative response. It's like a physiological reset button you can press.
Wow, like hacking your own nervous system. That sounds like a powerful tool for immediate relief. What else is in the mindfulness toolkit?
A body scan meditation is another really proven technique. You systematically move your attention through your body, maybe starting at your toes and moving slowly up to your head, just noticing physical sensations without judgment. Studies show this practice can actually reduce cortisol levels, which is a key stress hormone.
Right.
And for a quick mental reset, maybe when you're feeling overwhelmed during the day, there's the STOP practice. It's an acronym. Stop what you're doing. Take a breath, a conscious one. Observe what's happening internally, thoughts, feelings, sensations, and then proceed, hopefully with a bit more perspective. It's a fast way to ease a worried mind and regain perspective, letting you quickly apply that present moment awareness when you need it most.
Okay, STOP. I like that. Very actionable. That leads perfectly into self-compassion, which seems to be getting more attention recently as a vital component of mental well-being. The idea of self-compassion sounds really appealing, obviously, but for someone who's maybe always been their own harshest critic, how does it translate into tangible mental benefits beyond just, feeling a bit better?
That's a great question. Self-compassion is fundamentally about treating yourself with the same kindness, understanding, and acceptance you'd offer a good friend, especially during challenging moments. It has 3 core components. First, self-kindness, just being gentle with yourself. Second, common humanity, recognizing that suffering and imperfection are universal human experiences. You're not alone in your struggles.
That's important.
Very. And third is mindfulness, that non-judgmental awareness of your own thoughts and feelings we just talked about. The tangible benefit is that it actively promotes mental well-being by reducing stress, anxiety, and depression. It helps create a supportive inner environment for yourself. You validate your emotions without judgment, which ultimately enhances your overall psychological health in a much more sustainable way than constant self-criticism ever could.
So how do you practice it?
Well, practices include things like self-compassionate self-talk, changing that inner critic's voice. Engaging in genuine self-care rituals, like taking naps if you need them, enjoying a yummy snack without guilt, reading for pleasure, or even just allowing yourself to belly laugh.
Simple things.
Simple, but often neglected. It also involves setting healthy boundaries to protect your energy and taking small self-compassion breaks throughout your day, just checking in with kindness.
Okay, so these are all about being kinder to yourself, building that internal support system. What about more sort of active daily habits that build mental toughness and resilience?
Well, many of them are habits you might already know, but perhaps underestimate the power of. Staying disciplined with regular habits like exercising, meditation, mindful breathing, actually scheduling breaks into your day, eating properly. These things literally prepare your body and mind to handle challenges more effectively. Writing or journaling is another powerful tool. It's great for self-expression, self-reflection, processing difficult feelings, and actually learning from past experiences. It helps you externalize and examine what's going on inside.
And you mentioned using your sense of humor earlier. That's something often overlooked in serious discussions about resilience, isn't it?
It truly is. Laughter isn't just fun. It actually calms stress hormones. It boosts immunity, and it actively rewires your brain's response to stress. It's a powerful physiological tool for long-term emotional regulation, almost like a natural antidote you carry with you.
That's great.
And then there's letting each success energize you. Celebrating accomplishments, even small ones, builds a sense of empowerment and self-confidence. It creates this positive feedback loop. Also, don't take no for an answer. Easily cultivate that determination. And crucially, spend time in nature.
Ah, yes, nature.
Spending time in nature isn't just a nice break. Studies consistently show that even just 20 minutes in a green space can significantly drop your cortisol levels, your body's primary stress hormone. It literally unwinds the stress response physiologically.
20 minutes, that's achievable.
Absolutely. Other valuable habits mentioned in the sources include minimizing multitasking, putting down your phone regularly, maybe eating lunch away from your desk, swimming, listening to music you love, and actually taking vacations. Don't skip them. But this raises an important question, I think. How can we integrate these various practices, the ancient wisdom, the modern techniques, into our daily lives so they provide sustained benefit, rather than just being one-off reactions when we're already stressed?
That's a great question, and it brings us neatly to how adversity itself and the experience of navigating it can actually transform us. It's fascinating. Research shows that people who experienced a moderate level of adversity, not none, but not overwhelming amounts, either actually report better mental health, well-being, and life satisfaction than those with either very high adversity or no adversity at all. Your past struggles genuinely seem to help you persevere later on.
Yeah, that finding is really interesting. And it leads directly to the concept of post-traumatic growth, or PTG. This isn't just about bouncing back to where you were before. It's about a positive personal transformation that happens after a significantly stressful event. It means finding a new, often more meaningful, positive trajectory that you might not have even envisioned before the challenge hit.
And this next idea, well, it takes it to an even deeper level for me. The concept that our most painful struggles aren't just something to survive, but can actually be the very forge where a profound positive change is made. Our sources point to 5 common themes in this PTG, things like a renewed appreciation for life, enhanced personal strength, maybe stronger or more meaningful relationships, sometimes spiritual growth, and recognizing entirely new paths or possibilities for your life.
And this whole process directly contributes to building self-efficacy. That's your confidence in your own ability to overcome obstacles. You develop this, really, by learning through doing, by getting through tough times, also by observing others cope successfully, and maybe by getting coached or supported by credible sources. It's that feeling you get after a really unpleasant experience where you realize, okay, I survived that. What else can I conquer? This isn't just a fleeting feeling. It's a deep-seated belief in your own capacity that grows over time.
It's also about finding the good, isn't it? Or reframing stress, which isn't about denying that something difficult is happening,
Not at all.
but actively looking for that silver lining or the potential upside in challenging events. Apparently, this changes how you cope, it increases your hope for the future, and can even lead to a healthier physical response to the stress itself.
Absolutely. The way you think about stress truly matters. If you view a stressful situation as a challenge rather than just a threat, you actually get additional energy. Your heart rate might rise, adrenaline goes up, but you feel focused instead of fearful. You have greater access to your mental and physical resources. This can lead to enhanced concentration, peak performance, and more confidence.
So how do you do that? How do you reframe?
Well, the sources suggest asking yourself some specific questions, like where do I have control, influence, or leverage in this situation? Or what is one specific action step I can take right now?
Ah,
Also asking, what are my strengths that apply here? What resources do I have available, internal or external? And maybe what past experiences allow me to know that I can handle this? These questions shift your focus from threat to capability.
that's really practical. And then there's this concept of seasoned strength from one of the sources, which suggests that experience itself builds this unshakable resilience.
Hmm,
It's that deep-seated knowledge, isn't it? That feeling of, I've survived difficult times before and I can do so again. This apparently transforms how we approach uncertainty later in life.
exactly. Workplace veterans, for instance, often learn through experience that initial panic usually gives way to opportunity. They learn that change, while often uncomfortable, almost always creates new possibilities. They also learn, importantly, to separate their core identity from their job title. They start seeing careers more like portfolios of experiences rather than just a linear progression up a ladder. That kind of detachment provides significant emotional stability.
And it seems like emotional regulation really does tend to improve with age and experience. It gives you that calm presence you sometimes see in older colleagues during a crisis.
Definitely. Experienced individuals learn to pause before reacting. They get better at distinguishing between problems they can actually solve and situations they simply need to accept. They learn to find meaning in adversity and tend to recover more quickly. Gratitude also often deepens with experience. Having witnessed real hardship, seasoned individuals tend to appreciate ordinary moments more, which acts as a powerful buffer against future setbacks. And all this often culminates in a kind of calm presence, an ability to remain steady even in chaos, radiating a quiet confidence that things will eventually work out. This can be incredibly stabilizing for others around them, too.
Okay, so putting all of this together, for you, the listener, how do we actually live a truly resilient life day to day? How do we integrate these powerful insights?
Well, ultimately, it's about synthesizing these powerful strategies.
Hmm.
Building resilience really involves combining that ancient Stoic wisdom, the dichotomy of control, cultivating virtues, maybe negative visualization, journaling, the art of acquiescence or acceptance with the modern practices we talked about. Things like mindfulness, self-compassion, and those practical self-care habits. Exercise, spending time in nature, nurturing healthy social connections. It's not one single thing. It's an ongoing dynamic process of weaving these together.
So for you, the listener, this really means actively engaging in self-reflection, setting clear goals for yourself, maybe around building these skills, learning from failures rather than being derailed by them, and truly embracing the idea that growth often happens just outside your comfort zone. It's an active decision, isn't it, to cultivate these muscles?
It is. And it's vital, I think, to clarify some common misconceptions about mental toughness while we're at it. It's definitely not about having no emotions or being insensitive to stress and pain. It's actually about acknowledging those emotions and then effectively managing them. Also, it's not some innate trait you're either born with or not. It absolutely can be cultivated and strengthened over time through consistent practice and persistence. And finally, seeking help, whether that's from friends, family, mentors, or mental health professional, is absolutely a sign of strength, not weakness. It's part of being resilient.
That's such an important point. Okay, so we've navigated the definition of adversity, we've explored some ancient Stoic philosophies, unpacked modern psychological strategies, and discovered how life's toughest moments might actually be forging your deepest strengths. Resilience, it seems, isn't about somehow avoiding the storm, but learning how to tilt your sails, maybe, and not break. So here's a final thought to leave you with. If adversity is inevitable and perhaps even a catalyst for growth, what storm in your life right now could you choose to view not merely as a disruption, but perhaps as the very ground upon which your deepest strength is being forged?